Kiss. Keep it simple, stupid.
I promise you, this is not a political podcast.
Jump from the deep end of the pool, set up the mood. Paranoid radio, set up the mood. Paranoid radio, set up the mood. Paranoid radio, set up the mood. 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 Set up the mood.
Oh yeah, let's make deposits into the bank of knowledge. Welcome back to Paranoid Radio Podcast. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, I am Trebles Garcia, your humble host, and I want to thank the Lord for allowing me to be here today, and I want to thank every single one of you for allowing me to enter your space. Guys, it's an amazing episode. I have an amazing episode lined up with an amazing special guest. Every single episode keeps getting better. This is the best show with the best content for the best listeners. Now, I want to remind you that the most important thing that you could do for the show today is word of mouth. Check us out at paranoidradio.com. Check out the affiliations with Flavors of the Forest. It's the best garlic dust in town. I put that on everything, and it's amazing, organic. It's really good for your health, and you could repel vampires. So those people that are out there fighting vampires, you got to eat some garlic, some Flavors of the Forest. In fact, you see that black TV in the back? We're gonna start running ads on that TV because I got myself a nice freaking camera. One of you guys can tell. If you're on YouTube right now, like, share, and subscribe. And check out Flavors of the Forest. It's the best garlic dust ever made in human written history. Oh, yeah. Let's jump in from the deep end of the pool and set the freaking mood. Please welcome my next special guest. He's never been here before. He's starting off his own podcast. He's part of the Pod Alliance conversation group that we have, uplifting peoples and souls. I think his perspective in life is beautiful. He is a father, I believe. He is also a husband and a God-fearing man. And he is one of the most talented people that I've met recently. Please give a warm welcome to Alex Lloyd from the Testimonies Podcast. What's up, big dog?
Trebles, what's up, baby?
What it do? How are you, bro? Good to see you. Good to have you on the show, man.
I'm great, dude. We were planning on doing this, and then they kind of sprung a surgery up on me that I forgot about. That was all me. Forgot about it, and then they told me about the surgery again, and I was like, all right, let's just see if we can knock all this out. So I may be a little sliced up, but I'm here for Paranoid Radio.
I won't take more than 30, 40 minutes of your time, bro. I do cherish you, cherish the moment, and I also thank you for donating this time and knowledge to the show and to every single listener. Guys, if you haven't already done so, like, share, and subscribe. But, man, let them know where they can find you, please.
Oh, you can catch my link tree. You'll find all of my platforms on there, but it's the Testimony Podcast. But Linktree, the / and then Testimony Podcast. Find all my platforms there, or you can go to the testimonypod.com. That's the official website of it. It is early, it is new. It's going to get worked on. Please bear with me, guys. I love you all, but you can catch me at all those. Find my platforms there. Find the Patreon if you want to support. Please give a shout out. Hop on there and support, guys. I love you all.
The description is going to be on the link is going to be on the description of this show for anybody that's interested. And we're also going to be giving you guys all access to what he has to talk about on today's conversation. Alex, first of all, what does your show revolve around, bro? Testimonials. I think you're going to get a whole plethora of people coming in on your show, different creeds, different sizes and races, different colors and speech patterns, different thoughts and different testimonials with deep-rooted conversations, not only with through a biblical lens, I suppose, but also with inspiring testimonies for everybody to get inspired by. What's going on, bro? What made you push off the edge? What was one of those stories that really made you think, I got to change and pivot into this realm?
Man, so it kind of changed to me because, like, growing up the way I did, it was kind of rough. I looked at little things like, man, I was one of those I got really depressed on my own just because I pushed everybody else away. My life, I thought, was super hard. But then as I got older, I got around people who got to experience things that, to me, I thought were hard. To them, it was just another day in the life because they were dealing with so much more. And then, you hear stories like that here and there, like you see it on Facebook, you see the little post here and there, you see a video on YouTube about it. And the thing that got me wondering was, like, you hear these stories, and when you see that, especially somebody like me who was just coming out of addiction, I don't see that as something I could do. Like, I don't see that I could get on any type of platform and tell my story just because
Snap.
I'm not, bro, not just like pride, but like embarrassment. You don't want people to get on there and tell everybody your whole life. A lot of people say you don't want to tell people your whole life on social media. There's some of
I
these people that get on
mm,
there and could tell
mm.
just a piece of their story, and it could change so many lives, man. It's wild.
It's a ripple effect. You know, somebody that has a very interesting life. She gave me seven inspiring episodes to talk about her life and how it changed and going in from different parts, not only of her age, but she every single part of her that age gap, like every single from like young to like child, from young to adolescent to being married, her first marriage, her second marriage, and then finally the peaceful area where she's at in her life, children and problems and different jobs and everything. Everything is a beautiful novel. Is Janet from the Probo Nation. She's my pod mom, my real life mom, if anything now. And she gave me an amazing testimony, bro. And I'm telling you, bro, some people's lives changed. It definitely impacted me. It impacted many people. I myself, I am a recovering addict of meth, bro, and alcohol. And I'm gonna tell you something right now. There's nothing more beautiful to be able to speak with people and even and put it on the internet. You know why? Put it on the internet because everything else is on the internet. We were just conversating right now on the live with the biblical headman, and we were on live talking about how they are the elite, Satan, and all the other side. I want to say it has complete an ugly obsession on keeping us docile and controlling our habits and injecting themselves into our kids' mind, allowing them to question their authority, question the gender, and disconnect them from the Almighty Creator, the highest above power. And then I'm like, mighty all high. Why do they want to disconnect you from us? I understand now. I know what it is. The stars have fallen. They're here. They control the media, the propaganda, the things that we consume. They have us controlled by controlling our time. They let us know when we clock in, when we take a dump, when we eat. We are in a hamster race of only producing, consuming that we forget to profess, provide, and protect. You know, and then who are these people telling us how we got to live? Influencers. It used to be the mainstream media. Now it's people like you and I. Now it's people on the internet. So the idea of being a recovering addict and sharing that testimony on the internet is as impactful as they are trying to impact our children. It's very important to share those things, bro, from the beginning to end. And yeah, man. So just wanted to share that with you. Give me one of the testimonies, bro, that really broke your heart and also impacted you, rooted you on your show.
Ooh, I, I'll give a I'll give a quick one as to what got me even to take a little bit of faith and step into church. And like, growing up, my granddad was a pastor, so I always felt like I was kind of forced to go to church. So in high
Mm,
school, boy, I held a lot of resentment to that. Like I was an atheist in a sense. I believe what I could see and what I saw is fact, which is a very
huh.
arrogant. It's an arrogant thing to think. You know what I mean? Because there's not a single person on the planet, and AI will even show people that now. Nobody knows everything. And if a computer has more knowledge than you, imagine what has more knowledge than that computer. And that's
Mhm.
to me is just it's too complex for a human mind to even get.
Right.
And which to me, I went a long time thinking that what I could see was true and everything else to me was not. So I had weird beliefs. Like I just didn't believe a God could let certain things happen. And that was because of my own ignorance to not know the Bible. And I always felt like I had this calling to be a pastor. So like being around other pastors, being around my granddad in the church, being around stuff like that, I felt like I had a little calling to be a pastor, but I also didn't believe. So like I feel like I have this fire in my
Mm.
stomach. I got to get into the church more, but I
Mhm.
didn't want to do it. And I started going to church with my wife. We've been together for a long, long time. High school
Mm.
sweethearts. I love her to death.
Mm.
And I was going to church as an atheist for the longest. And the church that I was going to showed me a different type of love. They showed me a family. So I started to have a little bit of faith.
Sounds
But I
like a
just,
gang here in LA. That's what they do. They show you
brother,
brotherhood.
it makes you
They,
feel it makes you feel good to know you got other people that care, man.
hmm
It's a
hmm
blessing. And so like that started to kind of turn my mind a little bit. Well, then I get to the point of where I'm like, all right, well, maybe my wife, she taught at the church since we got together. She had been like helping
Mm.
with kids ministry and stuff like that. Well, I was like, maybe I should go ahead and give it a try. Before I even go to talk to the pastor, it had been on my mind. I just got to where I started praying, like me personally praying, because I don't know. If I didn't believe, why would I pray? You know what I mean?
Word.
So I got to where I just started praying, and I was like, I accepted that. I'm at work. I worked for this airplane service around here. We have crop dusters, the yellow planes that fly around and
Mm-hmm.
spray the grounds. So I was working for one of those at flight service, and this guy that had not been there all year. He had not been there the entire season. I haven't seen him since last year. The season's coming to an end. We got like 3 weeks left. And
Mm-hmm.
he pulls up, and I see him. I go out there and shake his hand and everything. And other than saying hi, the first thing he jumps into is, "Hey, man, if you ever thought about being a pastor?" He didn't know. I ain't talked to this man in a year. I have not seen him. He hadn't been at work, at least with us, in the whole year. So I just the first thing he's saying to me. He didn't know anything that was on my heart. So I'm
Mm-hmm.
like, it caught me off guard because now it's one of those moments of like, all right, I ain't trying to cry because I don't know what he's about to say, but I got to make sure that it's really God speaking and not just some crazy coincidence. I don't believe in
Mm-hmm.
coincidence now,
Word. I'm a conspiracy theorist either. Yeah, it's just that
brother.
doesn't exist. Uh-huh.
And so he gets me in and he starts talking and he was like, "Hey man, well I was put in a situation a long time ago where I thought I had the same calling, and I don't know if you have the calling or not, but I'm just gonna tell you my experience, and I felt like I missed that calling, and that's why I do what I do now. So like even right now, I feel like God's telling me to tell you that if you feel like you have that calling, take that step before you miss your chance." And
Whoa.
I was like, brother, all right, now that's when that's when I had to go ahead and I started crying. I couldn't handle hearing that because that's a different type of feeling knowing that, all right, this is something I've been praying about. I didn't know what was going on. I haven't seen this man an entire year. He ain't said nothing but hi to me. And then he breaks into
Hmm.
this. He's been here for
Mm-hmm.
10 minutes and he's got me crying, talking about church, talking about Jesus, and about how his opportunity, his experience could also affect somebody else. That was the first eye opener. It was like, man, somebody else's story can change at least one life because it changed mine. That's when I took it serious. That's when I went into the church and asked the pastor. I was like, hey, if I feel like I have this calling, what do I do? I don't know how to pursue this. I
Yeah.
watched my granddad be a pastor, but I've never started trying to learn ministry myself. And he was like, "Well, just start in kids church." So I started there, and bro, that right there changed my whole life just because of one person telling me he thought he missed his chance for an opportunity. So now he has to go and tell people when he sees them that he feels like he has the word from God to tell them, not that he gets to be a pastor every Sunday and let everybody know that he sees that Jesus is king. You know what I mean? That's a crazy scenario to miss. I don't want to say miss that opportunity, but feel like you did
Mm-hmm.
because everybody's got the opportunity. I mean, that's wholeheartedly. I mean, if you have the chance to, I mean, even the random homeless person you see on the street, give them $1. If you just give them $1 and don't mention, hey man, you know who Jesus is? That dollar can help. It's going to help him do the one thing he wanted to get it for anyways, whether it's eat or buy whatever he wanted to buy. But if you don't tell
Mm.
him who the king is, he's missing out on an opportunity to be saved just like everybody else is. And that's
Yeah.
you
Mm-hmm.
got to take every opportunity from now on. That's the way I look at it. I mean, he took his opportunity by telling me, and I feel like it saved my life.
Yeah. Thank God, bro.
Bro,
That's really powerful. God works in mysterious ways.
dude,
Sometimes the way you pray for things and he answers your prayer are the most, I'm telling you, bro, nonchalant and also unexpected ways, bro. You're right about the coincidence. There's no coincidences in life. There's only cause and effect. And life is
yep.
like poker, bro. You get dealt it different hands, every single player. And some of us get good hands, some of us get bad hands. But we all have the opportunity, we all have the chance to place a bet. So don't miss that opportunity to place that bet. I've seen people win massive poker games with the worst hands ever. So it's only a matter how you play your cards and don't skip that beat. So I'm happy that you found your you're in ministry. That's what you're doing now.
I'm not a pastor, in a sense. So I am ordained in a way, if that makes any sense. Like you can get ordained online. I did that.
Mhm.
And to me, it feels like a disrespectful thing now that I'm actually pursuing trying to teach and like serve and stuff in the church, just
Mhm.
because it wasn't like I didn't follow through an actual ministry school to get the degree. I did. To me, it seems that it really shouldn't even be possible. Like I understand if you just want to marry like your granddad, you want to marry your granddaughter or something like that. You want to be the guy that is that significant figure in that position. But to be able to get simply ordained for $100, to me, it seems like a very disrespectful thing. And
Oh
I
yeah.
honestly didn't think it would be that easy. And when it came in the mail, it blew my mind because I did this half asleep in the morning. Anybody can get it ordained. Anybody can go around
Mhm.
saying, "Hey, I'm Reverend whoever," and say that they're preaching the word and be giving a. That's what it scares me because you don't know what they're actually teaching you.
I like that you brought the way you brought that in. Well, I like to call him the last airbender. Satan wears 1,000 masks, gives you a million different ways to confuse you. He lies to you, bro. In fact, some of the many of those tools that he has breached has been parts of Christianism. At least not Christianism, but the religion, right? Man-made religion, weak minds, people that have morals and values that are twisted. And believe it or not, some of these people have weaponized it. I know people even in the podcasting game, in the podcasting community, that decide, and these are way successful podcasters that are threefold, four times bigger than this show, and that they have ordained themselves and also uh, collected Christian speakers that are ordained to come on the show so that they could register it as a ministry and not pay taxes. Insane. It's crazy.
Dude, it's the way I love the way God works. So we haven't talked anything about any of this before we got on the show. So
Mm,
that's part of the reason why I'm turning this into an LLC and not a nonprofit. I If I do that in my eyes, coming from somebody looking, I'm trying to look from the outside in. If I start a podcast and I bring these people on and it is a nonprofit, if I do it as a nonprofit, for one, it's going to seem like I'm asking people for money for other people's stories. And then to me, that would feel like I'm taking advantage of these people. And that's not what I want to do. If I turn it into a business, I can pay them for their time. They can get paid. I'll have to pay taxes at the end of the year, just like everybody else who makes any money has to pay taxes. So again,
mm,
as bad as I don't want to do that, I could take the easy route and turn it into a nonprofit. But to me, it feels more wholesome and more understanding to y'all because say I do have like right now, I have a lovely group from our church and a few family members. I have a few fans that I would say support me because they know what I want to do. Like right now, my wife, you mentioned you thought we had kids, so we are currently trying. We've been trying
mm,
for 7 years, and still no luck. Kind of like my wife, she's infertile, and we're in the process of trying to figure it out without having to spend money on IVF. But
mm,
to me, it feels like we're running out of time. And if I take money that I've made through the business and I do pay for that and let y'all know that, like the fans, hey, I'm gonna start taking the chance, or we're gonna start trying for a baby in any way we can. I'm gonna take some money and do that. I can say that and know that it's not coming from a nonprofit and people think that I'm stealing from a charity. I'm taking from the business that I'm running and I'm trying to better my life, giving my wife a child because I know she wants that more than anything in the world. And to me, that feels more right for the people, the more right for the fans, the people that are gonna be supporting this thing to know that I'm gonna pay taxes too. I'm not gonna do anything shady. Any big money I spend, you'll know it because it'll be on camera anyways. Uh,
mm,
if I'm transparent, I feel like more people will actually follow this thing and support the people that do come on because I will be able to still have like GoFundMe's for the people that come on. So if you say I decide to come to California and film for years and you want to have people just donate to you because they support your cause, they support Paranoid Radio, they can directly support you. They can donate directly to you. It doesn't have to be a come through my nonprofit scenario and then me donate to you. They can donate directly to you. And I'm trying to make sure it's people friendly, man, not just in a sense of like everybody can be a part of this thing and see what I have going on the entire time. I want to be
mm.
transparent through the entire process because if somebody else wants to start something like this, I just don't want them to fall into the wrong reins. Like I could very well make this a nonprofit. I could very well turn this thing into a church. I have a lot of people calling this thing a ministry, and that kind of hurts, man. It's not that I don't want this to be a ministry. I don't want this to be looked at by
Mm.
anybody as an exploit situation, whether it be tax write off or me trying to preach the word. Matter of fact, I got a Bible right here. I don't know anything in this thing other than a few books that I've read myself and what I've studied here and there. Have I read this thing front to back? No, I'm trying to. And I don't know if anybody else has ever tried to read the Bible. Coming from my situation, it's hard to keep it not together, but keep it steady. So like to pick it up every single day. I'm working on that. But I can relate to anybody else that's watching any of these things that I'm doing. I'm learning just as much as y'all are. I
Mm.
know a few books here and there, and it's crazy because I'm teaching kids that are in. I'm helping my wife teach kids that are in fifth and sixth grade on Sundays, and I'm teaching third and fourth grade on Wednesdays, and I'm learning just along with them. These are third and fourth graders. I'm learning stuff that I'd never even known, like the book of Ehud. Never even heard, or the story of Ehud. Never heard anything about that. Learned that 3 weeks ago, just because I was never taught that. But I also never picked up my Bible, and that's what gets me is it, it to there's things you can do and fall into the wrong ropes of. With me saying those same lines, I'm also ordained. That makes me look like in my opinion, a terrible person because I have what would you call it? Not a name, but if I was to say I was Reverend Alex Lloyd, I could do that, but I don't feel right enough in my heart to actually do that. But I was just honestly trying to see how easy it was, and it breaks my heart as how easy it is. It breaks my heart as to how easy it is to get up here in a situation like mine, bring people on and share their stories, and for people to look at me and think, "Oh, this man is perfect." Like there's this one guy on Facebook, you might have seen him. I can't think of his name. He's got blonde hair. He goes up and prays for random homeless people all the time. Uh, he's amazing at what he does. I guarantee you, people look at him and think that he could read the Bible or recite the Bible front to back. I can't, bro. My addiction ruined my brain. My memory is trash. I'm relearning a lot of things, and
Mm.
for me, it's humbling. It's very, very humbling because I don't know a lot. I'll say that. I feel like I have a decent IQ, but in the same sense as I can't remember what I did 2 weeks ago. So I'm still learning as I go. I'm learning as I grow. I'll say it like that.
Iron sharpens iron, so you shouldn't be like. Please don't. And I really, I don't think you do. But to mention what's worth, you don't. You're learning with those kids. That's how it should be, because it resonates with them. It gives them hope. And it also sharpens you up.
Absolutely.
You the way, and not because I'm a Bible thumping Christian warrior, because I'm not. But I do know that in order to be accepted, you must come to God as a child. You need to be in need of Him. You need to be afraid. You need to be willing to learn with an open palms and open heart. So the transformation for you is still, the journey's still here. And it's important that we share that with the people because there is so many of us going through it right now. I'm an addict of conspiracy theorists. I don't turn that TV on. I have it for show. I have it because sometimes my wife likes to watch Netflix, but I don't watch TV. I don't listen to music. And if I do listen to anything, it has to be 80s music. I don't listen to anything else. Not because I'm older or anything. I'm not. I'm only 34 years old, bro. I'm a 90s. I grew up with Lil Jon, Lil Wayne, from
Hey,
the windows to the wall. That's what I grew up with, that stuff, right? The dirty South music stuff. I there's but now, because of the journey that I've into, because I stopped drinking, I stopped consuming stuff, I've learned that everything that I consumed, everything would stay and replay in my mind when I would sleep. Then the next morning I would want to pick up a beer and drink some more, spark up that doobie, get freaking faded with some weed and call women bitches. And you see what I'm saying? I got two daughters, bro. See what I'm saying? If I
hmm
don't start changing my perspective, if I don't start changing my mind and my body first, how do I expect my children to obey me, to fear me, or to do right? It's okay. They don't want to obey me or fear me. That's fine. They want to be little rebels. Cool. But how do I expect them to grow up to be significant women, daughters, and wives? How do I want, how am I going to say you should be if I never was? How am I going to lead by example? My oldest is 14 years old. She's very calm. She has her mom's attitude. very chill little girl. She's a knucklehead in academics, but overall, she's a very good girl. And I can tell that she loves money. Right now, she asked me for a freaking purse that's cost $400. Her birthday, she's gonna be
Oh,
15 November. And then I told her, $400 for a purse? Game. I'll buy it for you. Cool. But I'm not going to buy it for you. You're gonna earn the money. And she's
there
like, what the heck?
you
Like, yo, you're gonna earn the money.
go.
We're gonna trade time because you want me to give my time and my effort, my sweat, my freaking blood, and to go to work every single day and provide for you and buy you your luxury stuff. What are you gonna
I
give me back?
love that. I
You know,
love that,
so
dude.
you're gonna give me some of your time, and you're gonna learn how much it is to get these first $100 in 4 sections. And she agreed. Today it's her first day. She's on a trial run today, and she's done it before with me. So I'm teaching her that, and at the same process, I'm allowing her to grow, mature, and also see the worth of money, see the worth of how hard it is for me to get it, so that she can get it. Right. Then I got my youngest. We were talking about how, again, they infiltrated everything. They've grabbed your imagination. They've captured your imagination. That is Disney's slogan, by the way. Hashtag look it up. And you're like, how does my 3-year-old daughter know this? She's a bright little girl. She picked up after me. She has my attitude. And I look at her and I'm like, oh, you're gonna give me trouble. And I'm looking at her and she goes, she knows exactly what the rainbow is. You know what's funny? She
What's that?
doesn't connect the rainbow to the Bible. She connects the rainbow to gay figurines and stuff on YouTube. Do you know why that is? Because I've allowed somebody else to influence her. It is my job as a father for her to make sure that she recognizes the rainbow as God's gift and God's symbol, not everything else. You see what I'm saying, bro?
Oh,
That's
absolutely. Well,
yeah, man.
that's so wild, dude. And it hurts because my wife teaches kindergarten, so uh, they'll have certain things that it's not that the school in itself tries to push anything. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
that's a topic for a different conversation.
Mm-hmm.
But it comes to where you have certain things that are instilled in these kids, and like giving them a tablet and certain things like that. YouTube is so accessible. I know when I was a kid, I don't even know if this will get your thing flagged or not. They used to have this thing called bestgore.com. Dude, as a 13, 14-year-old, 12-year-old kid, I should not be watching anything on websites like that. But I was able to watch that because I didn't have parents watching me watch what I was on the computer looking at. I didn't have nobody over my shoulder seeing what I was doing and checking on me. And that's where you have to be in your kid's life, where you're actually checking to see what they have going on with them. Like it's funny to me because I was I experienced a lot more than I should have a lot earlier than I should have. So
Mm.
when I see other kids that are like 14, 15, 16, like the Roblox scenario where the mom walked in and the
Uh-huh.
kid had the two Roblox smashing. And it's crazy because you would see people that are like 14, 15 and 16 and stuff getting in trouble for that. Whereas I was like 10 doing those things, 11
Yeah.
doing those things because I was exposed to the wrong type of environment too early, or I had the
Mm-hmm.
access to the wrong type of environment too early. And it shapes your mind. Like your daughter seeing the rainbow is that, and it's not because of anything that you're doing, but it's because of literally everything else around her in the world. It's not just the TV. It's anything you turn on. Whether you open a newer age kids book, it'll still be something in there that's pushing that, which is a very scary scenario.
Oh yeah. Yeah. They've connected themselves. We were talking about Nephilim, bloodlines, and all these conspiracy topics, and Genesis, and the seed war, and all this stuff. And I told them, bro, it's one thing is to see it and realize it as a human being, as an adult. I mean, as a man, right? Where we can see stuff and we can disconnect it from our emotions, and then take like a critical thought and then a thought out decision, right? And activate. Another thing is you recognize it in children. So you see kids acting gay. They're grown up with, not that I'm bashing on any people that are gay or anything, but they grow up thinking, I was born like this. No, you weren't born like that, bro. You were conditioned. You were influenced. You were brought up in that world, and there was nobody there to show you otherwise. The father of learning. Repetition is the father of learning. How did you learn your ABCs? Through song and through repetition. A, B, C, D, and so forth and so forth. Right? How do you know that the world is a spinning ball? Because that's what you've been taught. You haven't been taught anything else. That's what you've learned on every single thing that you've opened, consumed, watched, every movie, every song, everything is. Now you even have a space program with the government. You have NASA. This is how you know that the world is round. So if anybody else comes and tells you that the world is flat, whoa, oh my God. Your eyes glazed over and then you block. Why? Because you haven't been taught anything else. I'm not saying I'm a flat earther, guys. I'm just saying the point of the story is they repeat these things, erase history, control the narrative from a very young age so that then your testimony is never told, so that you never get to grow and be sovereign or at least have an intimate relationship with God. That's what they really want to do, disconnect you from the creator. And there's so many people living through that right now, bro. I remember when I was a kid, it was so hard to get in contact with the internet alone. We had dial-up. And it would make that stupid sound. It would, if my mom in the other room would answer or pick up the line, she would disconnect the internet. You see what I'm saying? Get chopped
Sound like
up.
you're hitting the DJ.
Bro, it was insane. We cannot, I grew up playing dodgeball, basketball, skateboarding outside in the street, bro. Instead of my mom used to scream at me to get inside the house instead of going outside the house. Now I'm having a problem with my oldest where she doesn't have a social life except for social media, and she thinks that because you didn't get 100 likes on your post, you don't have a high status, as if that's what gives you status in life. It's insane.
You know what's crazy about that? You know what's crazy about that?
Mm.
When as a kid growing up with like social media coming later for us. So like I graduated in 14 to where we had iPhones, but nothing like we have nowadays. To where right now I can have 4 different apps pulled up. My computer's not going to crash. My phone's running into. My phone's not going to crash. I can look at like TikTok blows my mind because back in high school, the thought of to me it just seems crazy. The thought of watching a video for 3 seconds and then scrolling away seemed wild. We had Vine, but it was still like it was a new concept. Whereas nowadays, I've seen kids have a tablet, a phone, and be playing the Xbox all running, doing the same thing. Which you're you're developed earlier to, in my sense, it's like I feel like you're right in a point that it desensitizes you from, in my opinion, everyday life, real life. It's pulling you away from the things that are surrounding you. So like even just experiencing, like I saw a post the other day, blew my mind, and I'd never thought about it since I was a kid, but you don't see kids going outside and building sketchy ramps anymore for bikes.
Word.
I don't see any kids on bikes. There's 2 kids that I see that ride a bike, and the thing that surprises me is that it's 2 kids that are not as well off. They don't have the money to have these tablets. They don't have the money for these phones, so they have to get out and do the same things that we did as kids, is go out and experience life like we're meant to do.
The advancement of technology works both ways, bro. People are saying, oh, the Bible could be a double-edged sword. Yes, the Bible can be a double-edged sword. Intent is everything. Then you have your computer devices here. You have every single piece of information in humankind, written history, in milliseconds at your fingertips, right here, right now. And it works for you to interact with the world. The thing is that it's also designed to interact with you. So it knows the highs and the lows of your dopamine levels, your heart rate, when your pupils dilate, when you're wearing a mask, when you're wearing glasses, when you're driving, when it's night, when it's dark. It likes the stuff. You know how I know it likes the stuff that you like to watch at night versus at day? I could be at my bed, and after 9 p.m., I go to sleep at 9, 10 p.m. because I wake up 2 to 3 in the morning to go to work.
God.
So if it's 9 p.m., I call it death scrolling. I'm death scrolling on Instagram, trying to look for the next post that I could share. You know what pops up? OnlyFans girls. Ass and titties, baby. Do you know why? Do you know why? Because I've stopped and looked at it for a couple of seconds. Why doesn't it do that when I'm at work? Is it because of geolocation? Or is it because
Mm,
it sees how I interacted with it for those split 5 seconds? When I'm at work and I'm at my lunch break and I'm eating, I'm scrolling, but I'm always looking for the next conspiracy theory. I'm looking for a Bible verse, or I'm looking for conspiracy topics or something different, or I'm working on editing on the show. But why is it on that specific time from 9 to 11 when I'm trying to go to sleep, ass pops up? I know why. Because they know how my algorithm is. And internet, the Wi-Fi, AI even, is a complete reflection of you. You are the only algorithm, which is why you are the what's it called? When something is free, you are the product. You are the
mm,
center of it. This is why the ancient Olmecs and the Aztecs, they worship themselves. All the priests, they worship themselves. Why? Because they knew that they were in charge of the algorithm, the organic algorithm of the earth. We are the ones that would have power to control magic and the logic of duality and all of that. That's in the Bible. It was presented to us. So I'm like, oh, look at that, bro. So it knows me. When I talk to my chat GPT, it knows exactly what I want to hear, what I want. This is why it's important to, when you caption and when you give an order to ChatGPT, you have to be non-biased and you have to reframe your order, read it 3, 4 times before you ask the question. Because if you're not careful, it's gonna give you what you want to hear.
hmm
Because it knows that you're emotionally responded. Like your responses are emotional, and it knows that it's gonna trigger you and gaslight you to behave in a different way, and or go consume something that they want to sell you. Everything, bro. Every single thing. And I'm like, oh my God. Now that I'm looking at it, dude, we have been penetrated. And I'm not no gay, no homo. Our mind has been penetrated from all angles. Every single one of our angles, every single thing that we consume, what we eat, what we breathe, what we smell, right? What we fucking, how we sleep, where we sleep, what we do before we
oh,
sleep. Before, women would be opening books, and now they're opening TikTok.
yep.
It makes I'm like, dog, what the heck? Everything gets thrown out the window, bro. And then, yeah, I went on a rant there. Sorry.
And see, that's what scares me though, is like with everything constantly growing. So like even with AI coming around, and eventually, I mean, I think there's people that are already married to certain dolls, but when
Mm,
it comes to AI becoming an actual person in a sense, when they have those functional robots that are in people's houses that are married to an actual person, when it gets to that point, I mean, that's my biggest fear is AI taking over, just because to me, the human brain cannot compute, or and even if you have 100 people in the same room, it's not going to be able to keep pace with artificial intelligence. And that's just one. So if it continues to grow and the computing systems begin to get smaller, I feel like it's just going to come to a head. But it scares me because, like, when we get to the point of them living with us and it being, if everything that is AI is able to be a promoted sense, so like if anything AI speaks to you is, like you said, trying to appeal to what you want it to say, what is it? What is it gonna? What could they possibly push? So like if you're laying in bed next to your wife, your AI, and she decides to say, "Oh, honey, I think we should go to Hot Springs," but there's a new casino open in Hot Springs. The advertisement comes through to the AI to go ahead and push that casino. The husband's just a normal person with a normal human brain that computes it as, "Oh, she loves me, wants to go to Hot Springs. Let's go check it out." You go down there, check
mm.
out the casino, and to me, it's like there's so much that, like in my mind, that could go wrong with little things like that, because like there's so much influence even like on kids, like you're saying with the rainbow, it extends to adults too. If there's an
Yeah.
adult willing to marry a robot, he's willing to believe that that robot is a person, has consciousness like us as humans, divine
We just
entities
gave
that
it consciousness by believing in it. Yeah. Yeah, bro.
exactly.
Yeah,
it,
taking action
it's
on that too.
but it's wild. And I mean, as a person like me, I feel like what could I feel like I'm so small of a person. I'm a literal nothing to nobody. that I'm nothing on in the spec of the grand scale. I can't go in and change AI, but like you were saying, iron sharpers iron. I think I got a little thing behind me. Stronger together, brother. If you
Mm.
have everybody come together about the scenario,
Unstoppable.
it's like ants. If you it's like one ant against, or it's like one badger against an ant hill. Who do you think is going to win that one?
Hmm.
Like
Yeah.
it's wild just because it's stronger in numbers. I mean, I think it was if you take all the kangaroos in Australia and you put them in, I forget which state it was, but everybody would have to fight like three kangaroos. I don't think it could happen. You know what I mean? Like it's just there's so
The
many
kangaroos,
scenarios.
for the record, kangaroos are beasts of animals, bro. They're free. They
Dude,
would beat your ass.
I've only seen the ones in the zoos that look sick because they're not in their natural habitat. They just like how
Those
it's like
those ones are buff, bro.
dude, you get the ones that's like the baby is in the pouch, arms all swollen too. Like, what are you doing in there to get big, bro? In there with a
How much you
dumbbell.
lift, bro? It's nuts. Bro, we've criminalized the truth. We've traded uh what's it called? Community for comfortability. We've glorified it. No, no, no. We've worshipped being comfortable. We've traded freedom for safety, and the world is upside down. It is one insane life. That's why I always say, bro, you cannot do anything on a global scale, like you just said. I myself can't go out there and change the government, for example. I can't. Myself, I can't. No. All I can do is change where my 2 feet lay and worry about my household, where my peace, my kingdom, and the people I'm providing for. That's all I can do. And everything else starts moving into its own socket. With those words, bro, this refreshing conversation had to be done. I like the fact that we didn't have an agenda and we were all over the place. But we brought some philosophy, we brought some peaceful conversations and an introduction on the Testimony Podcast. Let them know one more time where they can find you.
Check out the link tree. It's link tree with the little forward slash, but the Testimony Podcast. Or you can go to the website at thetestimonypod.com. All the socials are on there. Uh, the merch is coming. So when you click on that, you won't see anything just yet, but give it 2 weeks. We're going to have something on there, guys. And I want to say one thing before we get off here, Trebles, because I know we kind of hinted at the rainbow and the gay scenario and all this other stuff. I want to say something that kind of bothers me and it'll be a good end to note because I don't like how there's so much hate being brought upon people that have not been in the church in a long time, but take the church and use that as an excuse to be mad about something else. Like, saw a post about a girl saying, on Sundays after church, don't come to the restaurant acting mad or something about the food and talking bad to the waitress when you just left a sermon. But
Hmm.
the church didn't do that to that person. That person has free will just like everybody else. So the person making the decision to treat you some type of way is on them, not the church. But another thing is when we speak about gay stuff and everything like that, like homosexuality, anything along those lines, or just even if we take it to the step of somebody, if they were a serial killer, the one thing I love about Christianity is the fact that we love everybody. Like there's not this one piece of I get it what you even a child predator. I hate what you did. I hate the mindset you have. I hate that the devil is stronger than anything you're trying to overcome at that time, but he's not stronger than what you were capable of overcoming with the help of God. But that's where the love comes in. And dude, there's no hate between that. I don't like people saying or ragging the church just because of things like church hurt, things they've had in the past, especially things like people saying that Christians hate gay people. I don't hate anybody. But I got close family members that are gay. It's like saying it's like a racist trying to say, I got the one black friend. I'm not gay myself, so I can't speak on it. But I can say
Hmm.
that if you come up to me and you tell me you're gay, it doesn't change the fact that I love you just as much as I love the next person. Like I don't know what
Hmm.
you got going in your life, Troubles, but I love you just because I know that you've been nice to me. That's all it takes is for me to love you is to be nice to me. You show me hate, I'm still gonna love you. I might have to struggle with it, but I'm still gonna love
Hmm.
you. And
Hmm.
you know, it's a scary scenario for Christians like that. When you have somebody that thinks so bad about the church, I'm trying to tell everybody about God. God changed my life. God saved me, and a little bit of faith faith of a mustard seed. It's all it takes. If you could just instill that in one person, brother, that's all they need because they might not have ever heard that. They might not have had that one person that was confident enough to come up to them and say, "Hey, man, you ever heard about Jesus?" And that's what I want. That's what I love about a platform like you got, Trebles. Where I came on here and I was scrolling through past stuff. Like I was telling you, I've seen so many different variations of stuff that you've been able to witness on your podcast, but also been able to share. Like I'm learning with stuff that you're posting. And I don't listen to conspiracy stuff, but you don't always post conspiracy stuff. You post what you feel like needs to be heard. And I love that, dude. It's a blessing. That's what I love a platform like this. That's what I want the testimony to be. A platform where people can be heard, man. It's a blessing.
The Testimony Podcast. The next big thing, make sure you check him out. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, that is Alex Lloyd from the Testimonies Podcast. And you can find the link to his show on the description of the show. And also check out Flavors of the Forest one more time. And guys, do not forget to drop a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts and on Spotify. Here comes my sexy voice that allows other people to enjoy the show as much as I enjoy making it. Peace. That was awesome.